Hello and welcome back to the watch along. We're ready for England against Australia. Hope you're doing well. Wow, what a game that was just a second ago. Oh my gosh, what a game. If you haven't seen it yet, Ireland obviously just beating the All Blacks. We're going to be joined by Kyle, ready for this one. I just realised I still got my Ireland top on, but we're going to celebrate the fact that Ireland won anyway. And we're going to enjoy this game together. Hope everyone is well. Welcome along to the watch along. Good to see some of you have already jumped across. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Really excited for this game. What a game we just witnessed as well. And Kyle is here. Let me get Kyle into the studio. Kyle, how you doing, man? You well? You? How was that game? How do we summarise that up? You've muted yourself.
Okay, that was an embarrassing start.
It was really interesting what you had to say.
Just God, sort of what a game that was. I don't know, sort of I'm struggling to put an analysis for it because Ireland were just like, I mean, Ireland should have been way in front about half time
yeah.
because they absolutely dominated. But the second half, they just seemed to they executed it. Things a lot better. They kept the scoreboard ticking. Could argue somewhat fortuitous about that forward pass, which move led to New Zealand try, but I think it was just forward. So
yeah.
But no, well, I mean, well done to Ireland. 3 wins in 5 years against the All Blacks.
Yeah.
Considering it was 150 since they've ever beaten them, they'll be.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Honestly, they were incredible, and the physicality they showed, I was so impressed with. I was so impressed by just their overall play. They were so good today, and
absolutely.
And dominant, and deserved to win. And that's why I said in the watch long was they deserved to win this. They were the better side and deserved to win. Today, we are obviously now doing England, as opposed in Twickenham, England against Australia, ready for this one. We've already done Scotland against South Africa. Now we're doing.
I was going to turn my light up a wee bit, Brandon, because it's quite dark here. 2 seconds.
That's all good. Both teams are already out, folks. So we are going to have a look at the teams. There is obviously some news with England about Ellis Genge. He has been replaced. I don't have the graphics for that, but we obviously have the Aussie side as well, all ready to go. So do get your thoughts in the chat on this one. This is the England team. Just remember that Ellis Genge is not playing because he is out with COVID, sorry. So going from the backs then, Freddie Stewart starts at fullback with Manu Tuilagi on the wing and Johnny May as well. Owen Farrell and Henry Slade in the centres with Ben Youngs and Marcus Smith on the halfback. Really excited to see how Marcus Smith gets on today. Ellis Genge is not in the team. He has been replaced by one of the bench players. Jamie George is our hooker with Kyle Sinclair. Mauro Toja gets his 50th cap today. Owen Farrell gets his 100th. Johnny Hill then in the lock. Corney Laws at 6. Tom Curry at 8 and Underhill at 7. While then the finishers are Jamie Blymer. Bevan Rodd has gone straight into the starting team. So he is starting Will Stewart, Johnny Eales, Alex Dombrandt, Sam Simmons and Rafi Quirk with Max Malins. Your thoughts on that team, Kyle? What do you make of it?
So is that Bevan Rodd's winning his first cap today? If he's starting?
I think so, yeah. I think so.
Well, what a time to come in, eh? No, I think I'm looking forward to, as to you, to seeing how Marcus Smith gets on. I think Eddie needs to just relax a wee bit more because he has a habit, as we know, of not favouring 10s who are a little bit more on the Maverick side. But I think he needs to just let his shackles off and let him play and see what he does. Interesting seeing Manu on the wing. So we'll see how that goes. And obviously on the bench, it's interesting that they've picked 2 specialist number 8s, but they've kept Tom Curry as the number 8 for this, which I think is weird, but that's where he's gone for. So
yeah, exactly. Let's take a look at the Aussie side then. This is how they line up for this game. Starting with the backs then, Curtly Beale. He's used to scaring us Welsh folks, but let's see what he can do against the English. Andrew Kellaway on the wing with Tom Wright, Hunter Paisami and Len Ikitau playing in the centres. James O'Connor and Nick White are the halfbacks, with then the front row being Angus Bell and Falau Fainga. James Slipper also starts. Rory Arnold and Isaac Rodak are the locks, with Rob Leotoa, Michael Hooper, captain at 7, and Rob Valentini then playing at 8. Leaving a bench then of Tolu Latu, Tom Robertson, Oliver Hoskins will get his first cap if he comes on. Will Skelton, Pete Samu, Tate McDermott, Noah Lolaseu, and Isaiah Perez. What's your thoughts on that team, mate? It's certainly not as strong as the English, is it?
No, I don't think so on paper. I'm surprised they've still stuck James O'Connor at 10, but I mean, another week working with him there, he might be a little bit more controlling than he was last week. I'll say. Not surprised they've gone for Curtly Beale at fullback and they've moved Kellaway to the wing. Kellaway is obviously a very good finisher, and Curtly Beale is a good finisher and creator. I thought Kellaway was quiet last week generally, and so I think that's good. And the pack pretty much the same as last week. So
I've just kicked off.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, go. I'm sorry. All right, okay, I'll pause. Let me know once you kick off anyway.
How much time are you in?
35 seconds.
35 seconds.
So
might be a wee while. This is a bit embarrassing.
That's all right, don't we? Well,
it's my Amazon Prime for some reason isn't in sync with the rest of it. But There we go.
Don't we? We've got to talk about it then while we wait for you to kick off. Ireland against the All Blacks. We've already mentioned it. What a game. Were you surprised?
I'm not surprised with how Ireland played in terms of, them winning a bit. Yeah, because I thought the All Blacks might have worked that outside of them out by now. But it seems that, I don't know, they just didn't seem to get it. And
yeah.
So
no, I was so impressed with Ireland, and you felt for all their dominance in the first half to not be going in leading and things like that. You're like, oh no, this is not going to be good. But they just bullied the All Blacks up front, I felt, and they were so much better.
Sorry, Brian, that's me on 35 seconds now.
All right, cool. Off we go then. But fair play to Ireland. But we are focusing on England against Australia, and big test for the Aussies here. And but chance for us to see some of the England boys performing and seeing how they get on. What are you expecting from England today, Kyle?
I'm expecting to see, like I said, when Mark was talking about Marcus Smith and Owen Farrell 10-12, I'm expecting to see that being set loose a bit. And I don't know. It's like, because it still feels like there's, Eddie's gone for a little bit more of a newer approach. I think he has realised himself that he can't just keep sticking to this pragmatic style, which got worked out in the Six Nations. He has to bring something different to the table. So, yeah, it'll be interesting in terms of what to expect. I don't really know.
Yeah. And what about Australia last week? Obviously losing against you guys. What impressed you from them, if anything? And what do you think will be things that England will look to target?
I was impressed generally by how they played in broken play, which is where if you're England, you don't want to give them anything loose. Because I thought they showed they can counter-attack well. I was generally impressed with how they did at the breakdown, especially Michael Hooper. Apart from that, I think they did okay in some areas, but it was a lot just they need still. I think there's still a team on the improving side of things. And again, with James O'Connor at 10, I'm just not sure of him there. I think they missed Quade Cooper a lot.
No, I tend to agree with on James O'Connor. He just didn't really get into the game. He didn't take control of the game, did he? And you did feel like they struggled a lot in this one. But it's going to be an interesting game anyway. So we are 2.5 minutes-ish into this one. Australia with the ball in their own half, just on the 10-metre line, going through the forwards here. So it's going to be an interesting watch, this one. And interesting to see how Australia approach this one. To be honest, I'll quickly give my prediction. I think England are going to win this by 20+.
Really?
What have you got? Yeah.
I think England by about 7-10.
Okay, so a little bit closer.
Yeah, I think Australia, again, another week together. I think they'll be more improved than last week, but I expect England just overall to have a bit too much for them. So
yeah, exactly. And let's have a look at some of the comments. Tynus is giving you a bit of banter here, Kyle. You recovered from the disappointment. Yes. I'm sure we'll have a chat about that game later on.
No, congratulations, mate. I'm humble in defeat. It's fine.
How soon until Owen Farrell makes a high tackle? Well, we'll have to see on his 100th cap if he does. Luke Conway says, congratulations to Ireland. Well done to Ireland. Come on, England. So do let us know your thoughts in the chat, your predictions in the chat. I don't think I've actually set up a poll yet. Let me do that. And then you guys can vote on it. And you can let me know who you think's going to win. So, gosh, what am I doing? Let's get this in.
That's James O'Connor lining up a penalty here.
Yeah, chance for Australia to get going early on. There we go. So if you are watching, folks, do hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We're very close in 2,000 subscribers. And, of course, subscribe to Kyle's channel. Drop a link in the description down below. Here we go, then. James O'Connor.
He's got it.
And he's got it. And Australia take a lead. Australia 3, England 0 at Twickenham. And Australia taking the lead in this one. So England get us underway. And Marcus Smith sends it up high, but it's a good take for Australia, just outside their own 22.
I still don't get why Tom Curry still gets persisted at 8 by Eddie Jones, because he just, I just don't get it. I think it's 6 or 7's his best position. So
I tend to agree. You look at the 8th position. Obviously, there's no Billy Vunipola. He's not playing really on form, and but there are lots of other options. Sam Simmons. What does the guy need to do to start? Do you know what I mean?
No, exactly. And Alex Dombrecht as well, who's been going well for Harlequins for a couple of years, but I'll be interested to see how that's used later on, because he has picked 2 8s and 2 8s on the bench. So
indeed. So England with the ball, just between the 22 and the 10-metre line.
Going back for the initial knock-on.
It has gone on from Australia, so there'll be a scrum for England here then, and a chance for them to set up some attacking play. Let's see how this one goes today. Going up for the ball there, Callaway, I believe it is.
Yeah.
And
you're right, Marcus Smith, nicely doing the play there. That ball comes off.
I think what Australia need to do, they need to unnerve England. They can't allow them to settle. They can't allow England, the crowd, to get behind them, start singing Sweet Chariot and all that kind of stuff. And can't allow them to start to dominate them, because that's what England are good at. They're good at getting the scrum, getting the maul going, getting the line out going, getting the basics going, getting those big ball carries going. And but it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. Australia have to try and slow that process down, I feel.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, be more creative when they've got the ball themselves, not rely on England to make mistakes and then capitalise on that. So
yeah, exactly. Indeed. So 6 minutes into this one, England down 3-0 to start with, and the scrum for them in a good position. Ben Youngs will feed it.
Free kick.
Free kick, to England. They take it quickly. Marcus Smith beats his man, but is tackled. Ben Youngs into Corny Laws into Underhill. England getting some good momentum early on here. Toje. Ben Youngs out to Owen Farrell into Marcus
Stewart. Brilliant run.
Lovely run and a great try for England. Lovely try for England.
No, that's a fantastic line he's picked there.
Absolutely. And England take the lead in this one. Great work from Marcus Smith as well to spot the little pop pass through.
Yeah.
And England, Freddie Stewart, first try for his country there. And England leading by 5 points to 3.
Yeah,
Marcus pops it in. Great step as well to beat Curtly Beale. And it's a simple finish. And England take the lead. England 5, Australia 3.
Yeah. Oh, they've got Owen Farrell keeping the kicking. Okay.
So England take the extra 2 points, so 7 points to 3. Really good try that. Australia getting sucked in, and then just a perfect line as well is quite impressive from this from that England team there.
Right. Yeah. So that's the thing. If England can get that sort of 10-12 between Smith and Farrell actually cooking well, then that's something that everyone should be fearful of. Because
absolutely, because Farrell will have that control at 12, but then you look at someone like Marcus Smith, he will then have that bit of flair, be able to open the game up a little bit, see the right pass at the right time.
Yeah. But even also that kind of first and second receiver, you could sometimes put Farrell as the first receiver, and then it gives Smith a bit more space to really attack the line and get over the line and make something happen. So
well, you saw it with that try there. You saw that Farrell was the first receiver, and as you said, it just gives time for Marcus Smith to do his thing.
Yeah, no, and he picks the, draws the man in very well there, and then that's just a brilliant line from Stewart.
Absolutely.
From what I've gathered, he's been in scintillating form for Leicester, Freddie Stewart. So
yeah. Scrum then to England on their own 22. Ben Youngs will look to feed it. Ben Youngs gets it out, finds Johnny May. England still in their own half here, but building well. Ben Youngs sends it up. Who's going to be under this one?
Curtly
Beale, indeed.
What was the penalty for?
I think for crossing.
Obstruction, okay.
So penalty for England. The game is on Amazon Prime. The game's on Amazon Prime, so that's where the game is available. It's a great kick, Ashley, into the 22 from England. And you'd expect the maul to be set up here.
Yeah, Kyle Sinclair's down.
Kyle Sinclair getting some treatment. But here we go then. You expect the driving maul to get going now. So 10 minutes into this one, England leading by 7 points to 3 with a line out 7 or 8 meters out from the Australian try line. And big chance here. Ball is claimed by Corny Laws. Jamie George gets in the back of the maul. Referee says once Ben Youngs gets it out straight away, Owen Farrell takes the ball and feeds
Manu, I think.
Ben Youngs once again going through the forwards now. Underhill with a big carry, goes over James O'Connor. Ben Youngs into Marcus Smith, a lovely inside ball to the debutant. Ball inside, here goes Curry, up to the 5 metre line now. Oh, is he over? Advantage. Marcus Smith tries a little kick at the top. It's bouncing hands of Freddie Stewart. Still advantage to England.
That was just a bit high. Oh, yeah, we're going back for the initial penalty.
Yeah, there we go. And a few penalties adding up now for Australia. They need to be careful here. If I was England, I'd just go for the corner. The momentum is completely with them.
No, they're going for the points.
Yeah, maybe to settle things down, just to calm things down maybe a little bit. So England decided to head for the posts.
I thought that as well. I thought that today with Ireland as well in the first half. Like there were times they should have gone for the 3 point. I mean, they won eventually, but there's times they should have gone for the 3 points in that first half, and they would have been, I wouldn't say out of sight, but they would have been, a bit, give themselves a bit of breathing space. For the majority of that match, they were all over New Zealand. Like New Zealand just couldn't live with them. So
yeah, I agree. I thought they were quite brave. There was one right before half time when the clock was in the red, and they went to the corner. I was like, oh, I wouldn't do that, because if you go to the corner, you make one mistake, that's it. There's no second chances, because it's the end of the half. And that's how it turned out. Obviously, in the end, they won the game, so it doesn't matter. But there we go. Foul adds the 2 points. So England leading here by 10 points to 3 in this one. England very dominant so far, you got to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
They play South Africa next week, isn't it? I think.
Yes.
That'll be an interesting test, won't it? So it'll be interesting to see how they get on in that.
Yeah.
But Stewart gathers the ball, but Hooper is onto him quickly.
What was that for? Was that side in? What was this?
I'm not too sure what he's called that up for, Jaco Piper.
Side entry, I think he was saying.
Yeah. If I'm Australia here, I'm taking the points because you've been under the cosh. Just take the points here.
Yeah, it's right in front as well, so absolutely would. I'm just going to have a look at this again. Okay.
Michael Hooper comes through.
Yeah, that's not a problem there. It's when it goes to ground.
Charlie.
It's Courtney Laws, I think he's judging because the way he pointed, he went in and then he tried to go back and over it. So
England actually delayed his 100th test by a few months when they beat him in Japan. He was stuck on 99, frustratingly for him.
So chance for the Aussies to get something back in this game.
Are you not shattered just now, mate? You've done 3 live streams in a row.
I'm feeling it a little bit, but do you know what? The rugby today has been so good on the whole. I'm not too bad, especially the last game.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel honest, the first 20 minutes of the Ireland New Zealand one, I nearly fell asleep because I was just so tired after doing the first one. So
I think when you're supporting your team, it takes more out of you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think so. So
10
points to 6. There we go.
Yeah, it's quite nice just to watch it as a
It's nice to have a break sometimes. Yeah, because there's France Georgia at 1 o'clock, which I might put on in the background, and then obviously I'll watch Wales Fiji. So
is that tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Okay, so cool.
I mean, we can't have a 2007 again, can we?
Just trying to think, have you had ones? I don't think you've had.
No, we haven't lost against anyone to that level. We lost out in Japan in the early 2010s, but we were really weak and well side. And I don't know how much.
I remember that was 2013 with the Lions, and almost the whole of Wales was playing the Lions team that year. So
we had people like Sam Davis at 10 and people like that. So I wasn't that first.
Oh.
Not rolling away there. So penalty to England.
But I do remember this was quite a way back. The 1991 World Cup, we lost to Samoa, so twice.
I don't quite remember that, but thanks for bringing it up, as always. It's I'd love to hear that kind of stat. Thank you. We should beat them comfortably. But I don't know. The balance in the team doesn't look right. The team we've picked. Josh Adams at 13 is interesting.
Yeah,
interesting that. It's going to be a fascinating one.
Yeah, I think with the Josh Adams at 13, the test is going to be on the defensive side of his game because I think attacking wise, he's got the brains about him to know when to pick the lines, and and obviously, he has that poaching ability as well, just to pop up and also he can create things for other players. So that side of things I think it'll be okay. It's just the defensive side is how he's going to be tested there. He might get away with it a bit more against Fiji, but if it's against one of the bigger nations, then that's not so sure.
Australia penalised just from the posts, just right in front of the post. It looks like England are going to take the 3 points. Using Manu Tuolangi there off his wing to just be a massive ball carrier. Such a talented player and just so unlucky with injuries. For me, if he hadn't have got injured, I know it might be a big statement, but I think he could have been one of the best centres in the world. I really believe that. But
I think on his day he is. It's just he can't seem to stay fit for more than 2 minutes. So
exactly. That's another 3 points for England. So England 13-6 up against the Aussies. Nearly 20 minutes gone in this one. So England extending their lead. England looking pretty dominant on the whole. And we get going once again.
Oh, he drops it.
Oh, Manu!
Why did why didn't the England player pick it up? It's like.
So here we go. James O'Connor with the advantage, looking for the little kick through for Callaway, but Johnny May picks it up.
Oh, the advantage is over.
There'll be a chance for England to clear their lines here.
That little kick through from James O'Connor didn't feel like the wrong option. It felt like the kick didn't quite have enough weight on it.
And it's cleared by Ben Youngs, and it'll be a line out to the Aussies just outside the 22. As Kyle has another wee.
I've made it public, I'm pouring it.
So line out to Australia then, just outside the 22. They do win the ball. They set up the ball. No, they don't. Off they go. Valentini, the big number 8, up to the 22. Some good carrying here from Australia and some good speed of ball is what they want. They switched.
Oh, unlucky.
Oh.
I think that's a pet. Is that they're going back from the penalty?
I think there was an offside from England anyway. So, but you know what? Once Australia get the ball moving, they look all right, don't they? There, they looked okay.
Yeah. I mean, they've got the players. It's just the direction sometimes I think is questionable. Although I think actually that's the thing with Quade Cooper at 10. They look like they have been improving with that, and under Dave Rennie they have generally, since he became their head coach, looked at like they are a better team. Like they're getting
Well, they got some good wins in the Rugby Championship. You know, they beat the Springboks twice, I want to say. They managed to beat them. Quade Cooper got a really late kick in that one. So they have, improved a lot. They obviously are wanting to submit. Well, they have submitted a bid for the 2027 World Cup, which I think would be really good for them. And they are improving, but I don't know. James O'Connor at 10 just doesn't work for me. It just doesn't work. And
I agree.
Like last week, you needed someone at 10 just to control the game, take the direction of the game, and he just didn't really do that. So halfway through this first half, chance for James O'Connor to bring
back to 13-9.
Australia. Yep, 13-9. So right in front of the sticks, really. And he's successful. So England still leading, but 13 points to 9 now. We're halfway through the first half. But I think that's what Australia have to do. When they get a chance to take points, they've got to take it because they're not going to get that many, I don't feel. But although England's ill-discipline hasn't been great so far, you have to say.
Right.
Oh, where's that ball gone? Who did that come off? Off Australia, apparently. So advantage to England. Ben Youngs tries a little kick over the top, and they'll come back for the original knock-on.
No, it's advantage is over. They're going for the mark, which Curtly Beale called.
Whenever I see Curtly Beale on a pitch, it just gives me like flashbacks.
Yeah, traumatizing.
I think there'd be two times where in the last minutes of games he's gone and scored in the corner and had that cheeky grin on. It's just like, piss off. Does it way too often.
He scored it was the greatest 2010, the greatest non-try ever, where he just like footballed his way to the line, and then he got to the line and just kind of knocked it on just as he got there. It was like the greatest non-try ever in history. It's like
indeed. So 13 points to 9 then. Scrum for Australia, I believe it is. Yes, it is. England, sorry. I think England will target the scrum because last week James Slipper really struggled against you guys, didn't he? So
he's on the he's moved to the tight head. So I'm not sure what his best position is, James Slipper. I mean, if there's any Wallaby experts watching, then obviously feel free to leave your comments and correct me there. But only his second ever test starting at tight head. Wow.
That's a risk.
I mean, one could argue he's up against Bevan Rogers on his first cap, but what I've seen, Bev and Rod's a decent prop. So yeah, see how it goes.
Indeed. So scrum to England. Scrum goes straight down and penalty to England. And again, that's James Slipper.
Hi. Is Mako injured, by the way? Mako Vunipola?
I don't think so. I just don't think he's been picked.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so.
Yeah, because I know why Billy's not picked, because he's flipping useless now. But Mako, I'm surprised. Mako, I'm surprised at, because I think he's
England going for the corner here. Sending it down. That's a heck of a kick. It's not bad. And England will look for the maul again.
Yeah, Slipper. Yes, it was James Slipper who just gave
me. He struggled last week, didn't he? And this week it doesn't look like much has changed.
And he's in his apparently weaker position. So,
yeah.
Well, his weaker side of the scrum, I should say.
Yeah. So line out to England on the 5-metre line of Australia. The crowd sensing an opportunity. Ball goes up. Charlie Ewells claims it. Big shove coming in from Australia. Very good shove. Jamie George to the back.
It's a good defensive from Australia.
Very good. They get the ball out though. Owen Farrell. Marcus Smith.
He's got a chance. Yeah.
It's going to be a try.
Good defending.
Very good defence from Curly Beale and Callaway together there. And they stop a certain try. Maybe the pass was a little bit too, potentially even behind Johnny May when he got it. It was a little bit too.
Let's have a look. That was. Oh.
Curly Beale actually holds his position really, really well.
Yeah. I thought really Stuart could have straightened a wee bit more there before he passed.
Like sucked him in a bit more.
Yeah.
Penalty to Australia there. Yeah, I felt like Curly Beale held his position well, but if Stewart had, straightened, he'd have drawn him in that little bit.
Fixed him and then put it out with me, but just went a wee bit early with the pass, I think.
So cleared away by Australia, and they'll have the line out. Australia not doing too bad though. I'm not going to lie. I thought they would struggle a lot more than they are, but they're winning some penalties. And they're taking their opportunities when they get them, and that's all they can really do. They've got to secure this ball, which they do. That's a lovely little line out.
Oh, it's diving in.
And again,
who was that? Number 2. Was that number 2? I think. Yeah.
Silly penalty there.
I notice that's another thing referees have been hotter on this November is the entry to the breakdown.
You see, it's just discipline. It's a mental error. Coach can call it what you want, but it's an unforced error. It's an unforced let off under no pressure whatsoever. Just concentration.
So line out to England in the Australia 22.
Oh, it's forwards.
And yeah, that's definitely on forward. And we'll have a scrum.
We need him to get up here. That was a great hit. It's another good hit, but it's another good read.
Oh, it's a good tackle there.
Big hit coming in there. Marcus Smith. Whoa. He felt that. I'm sure he did. So scrum 2.
Yeah, they are mixing it quite well so far, England, with Smith and Farrell, the 10-12.
Yeah,
I have to say.
A couple of players taking a few knocks here. Let's have a chat then about the earlier games. So starting with you guys, I'm afraid we have to go there. What did you make of the game on the whole? How are you feeling reflecting back on it now?
Still slightly deflated, just with discipline, really. And Finn's boot, which was off the tee, which was off for some reason. And yeah, just again, just kind of like deflated. It just, you know, the way South Africa beat you, you know how they're going to play. And when it works, you don't feel, you just feel really like, you know, all the energy just gets sucked out of you while you're watching it. But no, I mean, disappointed. I mean, I think positives in the tries we scored, that shows what we were capable of. It's just about discipline and consistency, really. And also that our attack sometimes, like the actual fluidity of it, needs to sharpen up a bit more. It needs to be like a bit more of a knitted together. But no, I mean, I'm not complaining about the result. The Boks did what they did, how you expect them to play, and they deserved to win. And they scored, the 2 tries they scored were very good as well.
Yeah. I think for Scotland, the frustration will be the knock-ons, the little mistakes like that, Finn Russell missing kicks. But I thought there were moments, I think the first half obviously was tough for you guys. The Springboks were very much on top, but there will be positives there. And, you know, the Hogg first try, I want to say, the first one, where you just offloading and playing lovely balls round.
Yeah,
and
first
that'll be
one,
really encouraging if I was Scottish. So that was really impressive.
Yeah,
but the Springboks do what the Springboks do, don't they?
And our best player on the pitch was a South African, Duhan van der Merwe. I thought he was excellent, and you know, Hogg, apart from his high ball, sometimes Hogg generally had a very good game. Yeah, as like all the others didn't have bad games apart from Finn off the kicking tee. Like, you know, I thought all had okay, but just again. No, oh, here we go. Jamie George making a rampaging run.
What a line from Jamie George there.
Oh, it is. Come in, and the referee's declared it out.
Oh, they've knocked it on now.
Oh. Maro complaining to the referee that he was allowed to go there, but if the ref calls it out, it's out.
Yeah. Who pops this up to him? But does Jamie George just take it? Oh, no.
Yeah,
open
space.
Corny Laws, what a little pop through. Jamie George sprinting through there. Australia turned the ball over, but then in the process of doing that, they managed to knock it on. So it'll be a scrum right in front of the post for England.
Aye. So all good hookers do.
Absolutely rampaging run there. Like a bull in a china shop. I would not want to get in the way.
Oh, I'd look at that from 11.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're going there now.
This could be trouble for the Aussies.
Certainly wasn't legal how he went in. Just a question of how.
And there could be trouble here.
Mitigating factors.
I think Tom Wright could be in a lot of trouble here for. He's just grabbed him round the face, hasn't he?
No, there's no effort to wrap. Well, the initial arm, there's no effort to wrap from. It's only afterwards
Okay, Buckley thinks there's nothing wrong with it, mate. I'm not sure if you're watching the same game as us. I know you're Australian, but this could be a red.
Possibly.
Jaco Piper about to make a decision. Let us know in the chat what you think on this one. For me,
I'm a
little bit, doesn't he? Just a tiny bit.
I have a wee bit of something he's going down, but it's like, I don't know. It's like,
I think they're saying yellow, but I think he's going to give the yellow. It's 50-50, isn't it?
Yeah. I think a red is would be a bit harsh. I think a yellow would,
There is mitigating factor, isn't there? So
yeah, I think the right decision made there.
Yeah, I agree. Yellow card. So yellow card for Rob Wright. He is off for 10 minutes. So Australia will finish this first half with 14 men. So chance for England to capitalise.
Yeah.
on this now, and I was literally just about to say it's important that Australia keep it tight, keep it okay until half time.
Yeah, no.
Man sent off, but do you know what? I could see that being given as a red, but I do think there's enough mitigating.
Yeah, no, I was thinking like because just the way like Jamie George was dipping as well, and it clearly didn't go in with intent to make direct. I mean, to make contact the way he did, but you know, yeah. So I mean, I'm glad that was taken out because I think a red would have been a bit harsh. But
yeah, Owen Farrell adds 3 points to give England a 7-point lead, 16 points to 9. Then about 10 minutes to go until half time. And Australia will get going with 14 men.
Yeah, if anyone in the comments thinks differently to me, I think it was a yellow, but you can, of course, leave your comments to make conversations interesting if you so wish to.
But of course, me and Kyle are always right, so... England. Oh, was that knocked on? No?
It looks okay to me.
So Ben Young sends this one up again. England using the aerial game. But well taken by Curtly Beale. On in the 10-metre line, ball is out. Great carry, but a lovely rip from Mauro Itoje. And some space out to the right here if they can get it there. Farrell looks up, sends the kick through. Decent kick. Nobody.
I think it's Tom Curry who got there, was it?
Yes. Hooper tries to take the ball, but he can't. To England in the 22 here. And Farrell goes alone. Maybe the wrong decision. England. Cal Sinclair carries. Ben Youngs looks up, pops it into Marcus Smith.
I think Marcus Smith got a wee bit lucky there.
He did. Trying to get the ball out, slowed down by the Aussies. England still coming forward here.
Ref spotted it.
Yeah, seatbelt tackle, wasn't it?
No, it was just direct around the neck, so yeah.
Yeah. Advantage to England then here. Another big hit, and we'll come back for the penalty. If you were English, God forbid, what would you be doing here? Would you be going to the corner because you got the man advantage?
I would actually, yeah, because it's right in that. I know, fair enough, mate. Seatbelt tackle, you're right enough there. But no, I would go for the corner here because it is. You've got a wee bit of a lead. It's in a position where you can get some more momentum. So, yeah, why not?
Absolutely.
And a man advantage, which means one of the wings might be either short or it's not going to be someone who's as fast. So,
yeah. The ref is man of the match. Key, tell us, mate. Tell us what you think the ref's got wrong, because for me,
you might have been genuine.
You can't tackle like that. So 7 minutes to go until half time. England with the line out, 5 metres out. Itoje gathers, it goes down. Early engagement from Australia, so advantage to England. They try the little kick through, and Tuolangi's blocked. That's fine to Jaco Piper. Never a yellow, Key. Mate, he's lucky it's not a red. He's not lucky.
No, I wouldn't say it's a red, Brandon, but yeah. I mean,
no, but certainly a yellow.
What happened there? Why did the replay?
No idea. I think they took it quickly, but I think the ref has. I don't think time was on, so. So England going to the corner once again. So line out to England. 10 penalties conceded.
I think careful there, Australia.
Yeah, I think the thing, Key, Buckley, mate, is that his arm was high. There's no attempt to wrap this contact with the head. I think that's what it is. So line out is secured. The driving more set up. This is actually decent.
Oh, Jimmy George, yes. Oh, he drops it.
And he's dropped it over the line. What a tackle from Nick White.
Was that White? I think it was White, yeah.
I think it was Nick White. How long left, Connor? There's about 5 minutes to go until half time, mate.
Good.
And I just realised.
Oh, yeah, very good. That was very good there. Just came in, stuck.
Yeah.
Snuck his arm out and he knocked it out.
So it'll be. What a tackle. Usually scrum half's only good for talking, that's it. Great work there.
Nice.
So
he's got a good engine on him, Nick White. Scrum
yeah.
half. Because he made a very excellent tackle on Duan van der Merwe last week.
Yeah.
So.
Jamie George is getting a little bit of treatment there. He's just making sure he's all right. Of course, Australia's still down to 14 men. Eddie Jones with his headset on, I'm sure saying a lot of messages down.
Interesting, he's 100% records for England against Australia. And he's an Australian.
Yeah. So, of course, with the new rules, they'll have to take this kick from inside their own goal area. Nick White. Interesting to see him taking it, but he sends it down. Freddie Stewart with the ball. Oh, big run from Tuolangi. Here we go. Marcus Smith, Owen Farrell. Spots the gap. So on the English side. Double knock on, so scrum for England on the 10-metre line. 4 minutes to go until half time. Don't forget at half time we will take a quick break. We'll be back for the some analysis on the first half and also watching the second half.
Freddie Stewart, brilliant first half. Loved it. You comment on the England game here, or you've seen both sides here? Australia still playing.
So scrum to England, chance to do something before half time.
There've been a nice couple of set piece plays that they've put together. And when they hold the ball, they're actually looking good with dangerous, but they can't. They haven't been able to hold it. Hey, what I'm doing is concentrating on the positives, all right? And most of those have come from England. That's a fact.
We'll have a lovely reset of the scrum. One of my favourite things to see in rugby.
Yeah. Just come up with a sing song for the scrum set.
A little jingle.
Ding, ding, ding.
Well, while we reset the scrum, let me remind you, tomorrow, Wales against Fiji, live watch along on the channel. Coverage starts at 3. The kickoff at 3:15. Do join us live for that as well. That should be a good one.
Oh, Australia getting this. What was that for?
Oh, penalty at the scrum there.
It's another.
Kyle Sinclair penalised.
Oh, James Slipper went to scrum.
Yeah, James Slipper.
2 secs.
That's all right, mate. So Australia go for the line. Don't forget, folks, hit the subscribe button if you're enjoying. Leave a like.
Ball comes in. England think about it, speculate for a bit. Jamie George's bottom's up in the air. Something's not quite right in there. And
of course, get involved in the chat. Your thoughts on this first half so far. England leading by 16 points to 9 with about 2 minutes to go until half time. Australia with ball in hand here. Advantage to Australia. Penalty. And England told to step back for penalising once again, and a chance here for England, for Australia to get some points. England have just been penalised again.
You're recording.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, it's just my...
So
all right, thank you. Yeah. Just my dinner arriving.
Oh, lovely. What have you got?
Chinese noodles.
Ooh. Very nice.
But yes, I see you had a moment during the Ireland New Zealand game when your food arrived.
My food arrived, and right as my food arrived, New Zealand go and score. And I come up and I'm watching on the replay. I'm like, what the heck's gone on?
Yeah, I did manage to catch your moment of that moment there. I thought it was yeah. Very professional host you are.
As always, of course.
Yeah.
So Australia with a chance to get within 4 points before half time. And if you're Australian and if you're Dave Rennie, you're thinking, well, we haven't really done all that much in the game. Yeah, we've been given pretty easy penalties and we're doing all right.
Yeah. It's just about trying to get the ball for a bit and just trying
to... exactly. So James O'Connor with a chance. So this probably will be the final play of the first half. James O'Connor steps up.
Yeah, he's got it.
And he's got it. So Australia.
And they're back to full complement as well.
England 16, Australia 12. And as Kyle just said, Australia are back to 15. If you're Australia now, you get this ball and you just kick it off and you think, do you know what? That's not a bad first half.
Yeah, well, like I said, they've not had that many opportunities really. So yeah, agree. Just that's
where's the ball going? And it is kicked off. So there we go, half time. It is England 16, Australia 12. At half time, England 16, Australia 12. We're going to take a quick break, myself and Kyle, but we'll be back in a second to have a look at that first half, to have a chat about it all and have a look at what we can expect from the second half. So don't go anywhere. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Of course, leave a like and get involved in the comments below. We'll see you in a second. Hello, welcome back. There we are then, half time. England 16, Australia 12. Much closer than I thought it was going to be. Kyle will rejoin us in just a second. Hope everyone is doing well. Thank you for joining me on today's watch alongs. If you've managed to stay with me from the first game, which was Scotland, South Africa, you've watched with me you watched with me Ireland against the All Blacks. What a game that was. And now you're watching this with me. You're legends, absolute legends. Thank you for joining me this evening. As I mentioned earlier on, we do have another watch long this weekend. Tomorrow we'll do this, Wales against Fiji. So do join us for that. But it is half time. England with a narrow lead, and probably for their dominance, and we'll look at the stats in just a second, probably not as much as they would want to be in the lead here. They would want to be winning by a lot more. And Australia are keeping in there, really are keeping in there. Let's get Kyle back in. Let's get his thoughts. As I just saw, he's going for a mouthful of noodles, but we'll get him back in. Anyway, thoughts on that first half, mate?
Yeah, no, I think you covered it pretty well. As Australia, I think, can be happy enough. They've gone only 4 points behind, considering it's been pretty much all England. Brilliant try from Freddie Stewart for England. I think Jamie George has also had an excellent game. I've been impressed at times with the Farrell Smith 10-12. They used that, but I think there's still areas where that needs to improve on, of course. But on the whole, I think Australia would be slightly happier of the two teams.
Yeah, I agree. I think, they've taken their points when they've had opportunities to do so. They probably haven't had as much ball as they'd want, but on the whole, they've been all right. And England's ill discipline is beginning to cost them a little bit in certain areas. And let's have a look at the stats anyway. And I'll let Kyle eat his noodles while I cover these stats. Let's have a look then. So possession-wise then, England are dominating 65% to 35% of Australia. Territory, once again, England are dominating in that area, 67% to 33% of England then. Time in possession, again, England dominant. Look at that time in opposition half, though. 2 minutes, 59 seconds, 25 seconds for the Wallabies. But then points / visit 222 is 2 points apiece. So, as we said, when Australia get a chance to take the 3 points, they're just taking it. There's just no question. They're just going to take the points every single time. Open play, Australia have kicked that a little bit more. England have, because of the amount of possession they've had, obviously done over double the amount of passes that Australia have done. More handling errors coming from Australia, but breakdown steals, one breakdown steal on average for Australia, but no success at the breakdown for England. How much, Kyle, would you put that down to Michael Hooper? How important is he to Australia?
Oh, very important. Yeah, I mean, just proves it time and time again. He's definitely, one of Australia's always one of their most consistent, if not their most consistent performer. So, yeah, absolutely. But again, with the breakdown, I don't see a bit apart from maybe Curry. I don't see England really having any specialists jacklers who are capable of doing that consistently. I know Underhill can do it sometimes, but I think Curry's the main jackler. And I think he'd be more. That's why he'd be more suited to playing in one of the flanks than he is at number 8.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. We are just seeing the coverage on the yellow card. For me and you, there's no debate that this is a certain yellow. Could potentially have been a red at first viewing, but we both agreed that it's a yellow.
Yeah.
As a referee, I assume you're in complete agreement with that. There wasn't much really in defence of him for it not to be at least a yellow.
Yeah, I mean, because he's made contact with the head, and as the referee's directives, when that happens, you start at the red card and you have to work downwards depending on mitigating factors. And the fact he was running across and Jamie George was dipping, he didn't actually go in. Like, if he had went in like full force straight to Jamie George's head with a shoulder, then it would have definitely been a red. But the fact is, like, he was kind of going across and Jamie George was dipping. I can have some sympathy for him, but still, by letter of the law, if the referee had just, let him off with a bit of just a penalty, I think, it wouldn't have been doing his job or the directives any service. So, yeah, yellow card was spot on for me.
Yeah, exactly. Definite yellow card. Finally, I will get you let you get back to your noodles. Let me see.
Ask away, mate. Don't.
All right. Okay. From an Australian point of view, then, what will be the message from Dave Rennie at half-time? Bit more of the same. Just take your chances when you get them.
Well, yeah, but also try and play it down in England's half more, because they've not really had any continuity in possession in England's half. So just they've not really had much of the ball at all. So try and keep it in England's half and just let the opportunities come. And when they get the chance to build some phases as well. Because like I said, England's discipline does look shaky at times still. And again, if the Wallabies are smart enough, they've got every chance, because it's still not, the game's still not over yet. I mean, England, you still say the favourites, but it's again just keep it to basics. Don't do anything silly. And defensively, they need to sharpen up as well, because there's been a few times England have had easy line breaks, and and that's where they need to. That's where the Wallabies need to sharpen up more.
Indeed, yeah, absolutely agree. From an English perspective, then they've looked decent in some areas, but as you said, their ill discipline has been costing them. What do you think the message from Eddie Jones would be at half time?
Well, again, discipline and being a bit more clinical.
Yeah.
Because, after the Frey Stewart try, obviously, I think the Jamie George one you can more put down to Nick White's brilliant defence, just getting his hand in there, than blaming Jamie George at all. But also, you had the moment where Stewart passed it out to May, and May was tackled into touch when Stewart should have been straightened a bit more and fixed Curtly Beale. And then delivered the pass. He just delivered it a step or two early, I think. So, yeah, mainly a case of discipline, and both in attack and defence, and being ruthless.
I can just sense it now. Curtly Beale, 78th minute, in the corner to win at Twickenham. We can always dream. I have actually dropped a link to Kyle's channel in the chat. Folks, do head over there, subscribe to his channel, and make sure that you head over there during this halftime break. Let's have a quick chat then about tomorrow's game. So we got 2 games tomorrow. First up at, what time is it? Let me double check. At 1 o'clock, we have France against Georgia down in Bordeaux. You watched that Argentina-France game, which was a great game. What did you make of France that day, and how did you see them going against the Georgians?
Well, I expect them to beat Georgia fairly comfortably, to be honest with you, Brandon. But I thought against Argentina, I thought they were good, but I thought in terms of on paper of where they could be, they've still got plenty of work to do. I thought the 10-12 combination, which they tried between Halliburton and Intimac, as is tasty on paper, but there were the times I thought they tried to sort of overdo it at times, and then there was other times it worked quite well. So they try. I'm not sure what the team they picked out tomorrow. You'll have to forgive me for not knowing that yet. But I think, from last week, there's they'll be happy enough, but they've got a lot of improving to do, and some of their newer players as well. They can definitely take positives from, because they all played well last week as well. And Dupont as Dupont as captain, just I thought he led the line very well, and just the work rate he puts in both in attack and defence is, for a scrum half, it's just absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, for me, the best scrum half in the world, without a doubt.
Yeah, I agree.
France have actually gone very strong tomorrow. There's only a couple of changes that they've made. They've got a debutant on the wing, and they got Tao Fafana in the second row instead of Bernard Leroux, I think. I think that's what they've done, I think. So they've gone pretty strong. Georgia, obviously, traditionally are known for having a very strong scrum, good set piece. And there's always that debate about them, being part of the Six Nations and stuff like that. So it might be a little bit of like a dry run for them kind of thing. But I'm with you. I'd expect France to go put 20, 30 on Georgia, maybe more.
I think that'll be fair enough result. Yeah.
Yeah. The other game of the day, Wales against Fiji. Not nervous at all for this one. How do you see? Well, let's talk about Wales quickly. What did you make of us against South Africa last week? And where do you think Fiji could hurt us tomorrow?
I thought last week, considering the conditions, it was never going to be an open style of game. But I thought in large parts you held your own against the box very well. Scrum type, you've touched this already. Scrum time struggled, but I mean, and there was a few other areas where you could have done better. But I thought overall you held your own very well, and can be pleased with the performance. Just the result, I know, didn't go away, but I think there's definitely positive to take. And Fiji, as we all know with Fiji, if they can get their ball handling and moving the ball about, and they're not put off at all, and they just they execute their ball handling slickly, then they can hurt any team in the world with that. But the problem is always that they don't like to do the put the foundations in place that you need for 15s rugby, where like the stuff at the breakdown, they always don't seem to have the discipline for it. The defensive side of the game, they have their moments where they just can't be bothered with, or when they tackle, they don't always tackle properly. But but again, the way that Fiji can definitely hurt you is if they can move the ball about, play quick offloads, quick running, and then they can hurt any team.
Yeah, agree. Keybuck is saying, here we go, the Aussie comeback. Well, the second half has just kicked off here. 16 points to 12. Blimey has come on for Jamie George. So that changed, man. He did take a bit of a knock, didn't he, in that first half? So just a precaution, you think, for England. So second half is underway here. And penalty to Australia in a very kickable position. Off the feet. You think that James O'Connor will look to put this one over? And chance for Australia to draw within 1 point. Yeah, Toje off his feet. Sorry, I didn't ask you score prediction for Wales-Fiji tomorrow. How do you see that one going?
I think Wales will win by at least 15 to 20.
Yeah, I agree. I think so. Well, I hope so. 2007 cannot happen again. Australia are going to go for the posts, and that's just the perfect start for them. And James O'Connor has kicked very well today already. So chance to get within 1 point at the start of this second half. So a chance for Scotland. Not for Scotland. Gosh, too many teams in a day. Australia.
It's where I'd struggle to do 3 live streams in a row, mate.
It's names, honestly. Some names just. It's quite a simple kick for him. He should be getting this, and he does. And Australia are back to within 1 point. And for all of England's dominance, you got to say Australia have certainly stayed there.
Yeah.
And Marcus Smith will get us back underway. So 2.5 minutes or so gone in this second half. And Wright gets the ball for Australia. I just think that Australia have really gone back to basics in this one. They're like, look, as England just absolutely get all over them in their own 22. They've just gone back to basics. They've accepted that, look, we're not going to be able to beat England physically. We're not going to be able to, play around them probably the way we want to. So we're just going to take our chances when we can, play simple, clear our lines, play simple rugby. And it's worked.
Yeah, I mean, England haven't entirely helped themselves either. I think also that wasn't straight. Well, now he calls it. Okay. Yeah.
There we go. Not straight, indeed.
I think there's a couple of things as well that England haven't yet picked up on with regards to what the referees are being picky about, because there's been a couple of times they've been caught out for going in off their feet. And I'll be honest with you, I think there are a couple of players in that England pack who have been a bit too used to getting away with just being, because you have to enter on your feet and then you cannot contest if you dive straight over the top, or or you don't support your own body weight. And I think there's a couple of England forwards who have just got away with that a little bit too often in recent years, to say the least. So they're having to adapt to the fact that referees have obviously been told they need to be. I mean, they should be hot on it anyway, but they have to. Obviously, directors have come in; they have to be hotter on it now.
Absolutely. Yeah. Australia with the ball then. Chance to build something. Nick White will send this one up though. I do think that's something the refs this year, I feel in general, have been very hot on the breakdown specifically, rolling away, coming in out the side. They've been so quick on things to penalise, because it's all about speeding the game up. And, so many teams over the years would just slow the ball down and just be on the edge and slow it down by 1 or 2 seconds.
Yeah, and that was actually interesting. Yeah, and that was actually interesting of the Scotland-South Africa game, that Vincent Koch penalty, which at the time I thought was harsh. But I look back at it now, it's like players do that all the time, where they try to either make the tackle, or when they're making the tackle, they put themselves into a position so they can actually slow the game down. But now referees are being hotter on that. Then they'll know they can't be making those deliberate tackles where they're in positions where they're slowing the ball down. It's looking like, oh no, I can't get away, but they actually have to go in and make the tackles at, in positions where they're not going to get penalised.
Because that used to be the way, wasn't it, with players when they were trying to roll away. As long as they were showing the ref they were trying to roll away, the ref would be like, oh, you're good, you're fine. But now it seems as if even if you're trying to roll away, like Ellis Jenkins last week, showing that he's just trying to get out of the way and not able to, though, and then the ref's just calling in saying, all right, that's it. So,
I mean, I do have some level of empathy for the tacklers, because there are times they're going to get into positions where they just have to make the tackle, and they just, for whatever reason, they just unfortunately end up on the wrong side. But it's trying to get away from those tackles where it's clear they're putting themselves into positions so that at post-tackle, let's say, they are in positions where the ball is being slowed down. And, if the refs are a bit hotter on that, it won't be perfect, but then it'll encourage them to...
forward. From England, from the one piece here, big guy from Charlie Hills.
Is that in?
The line, how's he got it down?
Oh, held up.
Wow. Woo! That was close.
Johnny Hill.
From the mistake at the line out there, from the knock on. He thought for a second there. He went alone.
Contact in the air. I tell you what. I wondered if that was early from Itoje on Arnold.
Oh.
Can't make contact till he's on the deck. Itoje has got hold of him.
Oh.
He looks like he's up in the air when he's standing on the ground, to be fair, Roy Arnold, because he's 12 feet tall.
Australia gets restarted then.
No, straight into two-line game. What he's going to do, just that.
Oh, he is taken down. But what a ball carrier he is. England, off they go. You're feeling a little bit in the groove, maybe you say here. Sinclair carries. Itoje. Interesting to see that Australia just not competing at the breakdown. Hardly at all. They're really not. They're just like tackle, go back.
Yeah. Oh, that's a high one. That's a high shot.
That's a seatbelt tackle.
No.
Advantage.
Yeah, they spotted it. Yeah.
I think the TMO told him about it. Advantage to England then here. Chance to do something. Lovely pick up from Stewart into Itoje. Dances past 1, past 2. Lovely offload. Slade, Ben Youngs now looks up. What options has he got? Marcus Smith, lovely offload under Hill. 1 metre out now for England.
Oh, I think Jackal Piper played a part.
Away. Another advantage. Still the same advantage, sorry.
Yeah. I think Jacko Piper helped Australia there.
I think he did as well. Marcus Smith tries a little kick through. Oh, and Tom Wright manages to get there, and they'll come back for the original penalty, which was a high tackle. They're going to check it. For me, I don't think there's any. I think it's just a seatbelt tackle.
No, it's the. I think it's another advantage. I think the high tackle. Yeah, I agree. I think the high tackle is just a high tackle. I think they're looking at something else.
Okay. Okay. Oh, yeah, it's on Courtney Laws. It's James Slipper, I think.
Let's have a look.
No, it's number 1, whoever number 1 is for Australia. He's picked him up and he's just thrown him. How does he put him down? Does he just tip him?
Oh, no. Yeah,
he's tipped him on him. That's a yellow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so yeah. Yeah, yellow.
Reminds me of 2011. Sam Warburton is just giving me flashbacks.
That one was worse, mate.
Yeah.
Sorry to say. Well, it's number 1. Number 1's not James Slipper. It's
no.
Angus Bell, isn't it?
Yeah.
Does he have one? Are you going to take this to a jury or just? No. We have to get serious with these.
He's just dropped him, hasn't he?
Yeah, right call.
Yeah, yellow card. He can really have no complaints about that. Yeah. And unnecessary because Courtney Laws had released the ball.
Yeah.
It's completely unnecessary. So a man in the bin for Australia once again in this game. And Owen Farrell. You'd think we'll take the points here. Oh, yes, they are taking the points. Alex Don Brandt is on for England.
And he's on for Sam Underhill.
You thought maybe they'd put Curry at 7 and maybe brought Simmons on, but Don Brandt has been brilliant for Quins this season, so over the last couple of years, really. So Owen Farrell to extend England's lead to 4 points. 8 minutes and a half into the second half. Pretty much right in front of the posts.
Yeah.
The England captain should be getting this very easily. Dare I say, I would even get it. And he gets it. So England leading by now 19 points to 15. And Australia with a man in the bin.
Yeah.
That'll be so frustrating for Australia because they're in the game, and then to give something so silly away like that is just...
Yeah. And as you said, it was unnecessary because the ball had left Courtney Laws' hands. He could have just backed off and not done anything, but...
England go in once again, just outside the 22. Ben Youngs will look to clear this one. Ben Youngs sends it away.
Yeah, that's going out.
Early Beale tackled and then put into touch by Johnny May. And line out to England here. You just feel like the momentum's beginning to shift, don't you?
Yeah, but I mean, Australia are still in it, so wouldn't you know?
I'm still telling you, Curtly Beale, 78th minute.
I've hardly seen him today, actually. Curtly Beale.
Well, Australia have hardly had the ball, had they, in any good position?
Yeah. Yeah, they're only 4 points behind. So that'll be
advantage to England then. And the penalty to...
You can't really do things inconspicuously, can you? No, you can't.
Again, silly penalty.
And that's partly to to do with his jump, partly to do with his lifters. If he jumps that way, his lifters have got to control him.
And there'll be a line out to England in the 22. So 51 minutes gone. England 19, Australia 16. England line out.
It was sloppy.
Oh, it's sloppy, and it's dropped to Michael Hooper in space.
Well, I think he's turned it over. Yeah, that's Curry there.
And he was so isolated. That's what you're worried about there, when he got the ball a little bit isolated.
Mm-hmm.
And Itoje wins them the pen. You just saw when he was running. He was all on his own, wasn't he? And
yeah, Tom Curry was it who got him?
I think it was Itoje.
No, it was Curry was the one over the ball. I think Itoje was when he made the tackle.
And England will look to take the points here and just push ahead a little bit more.
A lead of 7 points if he gets it. Which is significant.
Michael Hooper as well looks in a little bit of pain. So Owen Farrell.
Rugby league rivalry, the great rivalry between England, Great Britain, and the Kangaroos is part of that rivalry.
Chance to give them a 7-point lead, which would make it quite important. Quite an important milestone in the game.
Oh, he's missed it.
He has. He's pulled it wide, and that's a big miss from Owen Farrell. It remains 19 points to 15, and means that's going to be pretty tense. And Australia will get restarted with a 22 dropout. Nick White sends it downfield. Alex Donbrand, first chance we get to see him.
Oh, here he is again.
Lange back into Donbrand. He's through here. Big tackle coming in on him from Curly Beale.
Counter-rucking.
Brilliant counter-rucking. Australia have the ball now. They get it out.
Oh, chance here. Chance.
Oh,
chance.
great.
Just need support.
Can he get the support?
Oh, he's offside there, surely.
Chance for Australia. Ikitau carries inside, does well. Oh, the ball's been ripped. And England retrieve the ball.
Oh, fair enough. Oh, he's got it.
Oh, lovely turnover. Michael Hooper.
Good defending from Marcus Smith there.
Yeah. England not helping themselves, are they, though?
No.
They really don't help themselves.
Scare him stuff there.
Yeah. Oh, he's a lovely break. Donbrand goes through a great tackle from Curly Beale. Fantastic counter-rucking. And then England, the ball is out, and England don't do anything with it. And eventually they are able to clear here. Michael Hooper is down, which would be a concern for Australia. Lovely stepping from Ikitau there. He just needed the support. That's really the first time we've seen Australia with decent possession.
Yeah,
we just haven't seen enough from them in this one.
No. Yeah, like I said, they are a dangerous team from open play. So
yeah. Michael Hooper's going off. 11 tackles made, most in the game so far from him, and that's a big miss for Australia now. What a player he is. One of the best sevens in the world. And he's been replaced by Samu, so that's going to be a big blow for this Australian side.
Somebody's going to have to replicate the tackles that Cooper's made, replicate the work, the breakdown that Cooper's engaged in.
So line out to Australia, just between the 10-metre line and 22. Still only 4 points in it. Australia's still down to 14 men. 25 minutes to go. Line out here then.
Oh, I don't know why they stopped.
Oh, overthrown. And chance here for England. Good offloading, Marcus Smith. Owen Farrell. Oh, big hits coming in there. Marcus Smith pushed out as well, and it'll be a line out to Australia. And it's going to be a line out here. Lovely stuff from England, though. And you can see England are trying to be more expansive, aren't they?
Yeah. No, neither side's like, both sides have had their moments, but neither side really put together much fluidity into the game, you know, so.
Yeah. This is lovely, kicking wing offload out the back. Lovely stuff. I think it's equally good defence there. They were outnumbered. Pushing in the sideline.
Do you know how long's left on the yellow?
I think it's 4 minutes or something. 3-4 minutes.
Yeah, not long to go. Tom Curry looks like he's all balls there though for Australia. Rhoda carries Nick White. And they go through the forwards. And Nick White's going to send this one up. Up he goes. And the ball bounces into the hands of England.
Yeah.
So England decides to go through the forwards this time. Courtney Laws carries. Was he held? He was. Double movement. And a chance for Australia here, once again, to get within 1 point if they want to go for the posts.
Another thing referees have been hotter on is the...
Well, we saw that with Kelleher, didn't we, before in the Ireland game?
Yeah.
Which was the right decision. You could have said it was a high tackle on Courtney Laws. And they're taking a look at the tackle now. Foul play.
So, okay. Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it's a seatbelt tackle. It's going to be a penalty too.
Yeah, penalty. That's a penalty. Penalty only, though. No more than that.
So it's going to be a penalty to England here, where Australia maybe thought they could get back into this one, but penalty to England then. Heading towards the final 20 minutes. England leading by 19 points to 15. Sam Underhill comes on for Don Brandt, who goes off.
It's obviously an HIA.
Yeah, it must be.
So Don Brandt was doing well. I thought Don Brandt was doing well. They've kept it. Kept that change as it was. And Curry's looked better since he's gone to more.
Oh, they've missed touch. England missed touch. Curly Beale sends it down, looking for the space. Back here to Henry Slade. Sends it back down. James O'Connor.
Oh!
Lovely. Oh, and they knocked it on. Just those little bits of inaccuracies. But there are opportunities to Australia out wide if they can get it there. No, he's just isolated all on his own.
Just something on there. Just bad handling, really.
Yeah,
from right.
Inaccuracies, really. England decide to take the scrum on the halfway line.
Yeah, and Australia back to full 15 players now.
Yeah, indeed. Still only 4 points in it. Still a tight one.
Aye.
Scrum then, off it goes straight down. So reset the scrum here. So once again, another scrum on the halfway line for England.
Right. That's another one Australia won.
To Australia, Cal Sinclair losing his hold on his man there.
Australia's scrum generally has looked better today, so.
And you can see Sinclair who lost the grip there.
Yeah. Some Sinclair. David Flatman's disagreeing with the call.
Any surprise?
I think he was looking at the way the Australian was like sort of turning a bit, but it was Sinclair who initially lost his. Yeah. Who was the first to lose his gripping? So, yeah.
So line out to Australia then.
Obviously, Richard Cockrell's the forward coach of Edinburgh now. No, of England now, sorry.
And it's not straight, the line out. That's frustrating if you're Australian.
No, I think I was closing the gap.
Oh, right.
Because not straight's a scrum or a retake the line out.
Good take from Curtly Beale, tackle by Manu to Alangi. Ball is there though for Nick White. Good hands. Right. Bounces off 2 tackles. And ball is there for Australia with a little bit of space out wide. And Curtly Beale's got it. And there's no pressure on him whatsoever.
No.
Yeah, it wasn't a great pass. Really should be
pass, but he still should. Yeah, he still should be taking that.
Nine handling errors for the Aussies, 3 for England. So you can see where Australia have been struggling today.
Yeah, I mean they struggle to get any sort of fluidity or continuity to any of their plays.
Will Skelton's going to be coming on.
Big bruising.
Yeah.
Big bruiser. What do you think of Alex Cuthbert being brought back into the Wales team?
Do you know what? Alex Cuthbert, for me...
Is he back at the Cardiff Blues or is he at the Ospreys now?
He's at Ospreys, so he's with us. He's played 1 game this season for us.
Okay.
I don't know what Owen Lane's done wrong on the wing. I don't know what he's done wrong. Why he's not getting the nod. I think we've seen the best days of Alex Cuthbert at international level for sure. Is he going to be there in 2 years for the World Cup? Probably not. I just don't understand it. I don't get it. I mean, the team selection's a weird one anyway. I don't know. I think it's a bit of an enjoy. I don't know. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. But there you go. But the thing is, though, like, he's a 6 out of 10 player, isn't he? Like, he's not going to do anything particularly wrong, but we know that he's not going to stand out like he did when we won the Grand Slam in 2012, I think it was, where he scored like 5 or 6 tries that season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right. His defensive side of his game has always been suspect as well.
Yeah.
So.
Advantage to England here. Took him out in the air.
Yeah, I think he was just in the air.
I'll come back for the original pen then.
Well, that's Scrum.
Lovely, handsome Kyle Sinclair. Alice Bradshaw asks, are you always enjoying the game? Is it a good one? Do you know what? It's not too bad. It's a little bit scrappy and all over the place, but there's only 4 points in it. England have been so dominant and should be doing better. But, you know, Australia's still in it. But it's a bit scrappy from both teams. But just over 15 minutes to go now.
Now they're bringing on Don Brett back on.
Yeah, good to see him coming back on.
Still no Sam Simmons, though.
Yeah.
Still no Sam Simmons.
England going for the points, probably the sensible decision in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
So Sam Underhill going back off.
Feels like England have dominated territory in this second half. All the players been down this end of the field.
So Owen Farrell and the chance to extend England's lead to 7.
7.
Should be getting this.
Probably Latu's coming onto the field.
Yeah, he's in.
Yeah, he's got that. So England extend their lead. England 22, Australia 15. England just getting that little bit of breathing space. Changes for Australia. Going through now. James O'Connor gets us restarted.
Hmm.
Whoa, no arms.
That was suspect, to say the least.
Yeah, Latu on for flying guard, but that tackle from Latu, I mean, I'm not sure about that.
We'll check that at least.
It looked like he just went head down, didn't it, like that? Mm-hmm. He didn't even...
Yeah. Hard to say because, we haven't seen the replay yet, so...
Yeah.
Obviously, if Curry's jumped into him, then... and we're playing on anyway.
Valentini spots the gap. Tackled, though. Ball is there for Australia. Just haven't seen them with enough ball at all, and they've knocked it on. And that's really the story. That's really the story of this Australian side today.
Pretty much. See that tackle now.
I'd like to see this tackle again from Latu because my initial reaction was he's just not wrapped on whatsoever there.
But we have to. Well, Farrell's down injured, so we have to give him special attention.
Are you a fan of Owen Farrell, Kyle?
Yes, he's in my team sheet, my fantasy team sheet every week.
Oh
well, we're not going to see that tackle again by the looks of it. So.
Oh well. We play on anyway. It'll be a scrum to England. And about 14 minutes to go in this one. And unless Australia can create something out of nothing, kind of think this game might be done and dusted, to be honest. Tom Wright is off. Isaiah Parisi is on. So that change has gone through. So scrum to England just inside their own half.
Pardon me.
A few injuries this year and last year, but electric with the ball, very powerful with contact.
Here we go then. England put the ball in. Who's going to drop first?
Oh,
Scrum is spinning and penalty to England out the scrum. Big scrum there from Kyle Sinclair. Again, things like that can be quite a big momentum shifter, can't they? They can really affect how the game goes.
Only the second scrum penalty England have had today. Which is somewhat surprising, but
yeah. And a cap for what a moment this is. Ollie Hoskins getting his cap.
I'm sure you've seen this story this week. The London Irishman, his debut, one of the stories of the week. He started the week thinking he might be playing for Irish against Northampton.
His debut today. Obviously came to the UK, thought that was it for his Australian potential career. They've changed the laws, relaxed them, so he gets his debut today. So great moment for him. Change for England though. Owen Farrell is off.
And is that Max Malins come on?
I think so. It's Max Malins. So you think that maybe Manu goes centre, Max Malins.
Man's the centre and Malins the wing, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I think's going to happen. So England with the ball on the 10-metre line here.
Yeah. Farrell was limping a bit there, so
yeah, he was. Did not look comfortable. Good counter-working from Australia, and they have managed to turn this one over. And Australian ball there. Good counter-work from the Aussies. Got a chance for Australia to get the ball downfield. James O'Connor will send it down there. It's a good kick.
Look at Hoskins up for it. Called his folks a couple of days ago and said, guess what I'm doing at the weekend? Do you fancy flying over? They arrived at 5 o'clock this morning. I suspect they'll be a little weary in their seats in this stadium.
So line out for Australia just on the 22. They've got to secure their ball though. So line out here. And they've lost it. And after the good work there that they've done, they've managed to lose the ball. And really, they're shooting themselves in the foot a little bit here, Australia. I mean, both lineouts have struggled a bit today anyway.
Curtis Kirtley with a chance name.
Oh, Curtly Beale. Oh, and the ball's come out of the ruck. And England have it. Charlie Ewells. Ben Youngs will know there's space in behind. If he can find it, sends it down. James O'Connor looks set to catch that, and he does. And sends it back down. Stewart sends it up. Him against Beale. Curtly Beale wins it. Good tackle, though. Ball is there. And Australia have to build from their own half here. 70 minutes gone in this one, 10 minutes left. 7 points in it. Nick White needs to use this. He does, sends it up. mean, the game is not won for England. They got to be careful.
Yeah, absolutely.
England going through the forwards here. Ben Young sends it up once again. Curly Beale has time to move that one forward. Nick White pinged that sort of obstruction, and that's a really silly penalty to give away, and that might be the game there.
Oh, let's have a look at that one.
I did think he blocked him off slightly. Oh, I don't know.
No, not sure that's a better angle.
I think that's soft. 17 penalties conceded though by Australia.
Yeah, no, it's poor. That's poor. I don't know. I didn't look at this one. I didn't see it clear. Yeah, because he kept.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? He does step in.
Yeah, it's like if he just kept because he speeded up to stop him. So yeah.
So changes for England. We're going to see Harry Randall on.
Harry Randall, Will Stewart, and
sorry, Rafi Quirk, not Harry Randall.
Rafi Quirk, sorry.
So Davison comes on for Rod, Quirk on for Ben Youngs. Those are the changes. So we head towards the final 8 minutes. And debuts for him today. Just 20 years old. Not bad at all.
There he is. Wasn't expecting his weekend to pan out like this, but all those COVID tests and areas.
So chance for Marcus Smith to get his first points of the game. 35 metres out will give them a 10-point lead. You'd think would wrap up the game.
Responsibility to take England more than a score clip.
He composes himself and gets ready. Pretty simple kick.
Oh, he's got it.
Yeah, he's got it. And is that the game? Is that the game?
I think it might be, yes.
Yeah, so do I. 25 points to 15. Australia need to do something special now. James O'Connor gets us restarted. 7 minutes to go then. Curry collects. It's tackled. His own 22, but chance here for Quirk to clear his lines. First involvement for him. He sends it down. Curly Beale wins it. It's back to James O'Connor. Good step from him. Was that a high tackle?
I think it was okay. Was that high? Yeah.
Maybe. Robertson on for Bell. McDermott's on for Nick White for Australia. So those changes have also gone through. Rafi Quirk claims it. Good take in the air. Ball's available for England. Maritojo, like does the scrum half. Six minutes to go. Sent by Rafi Quirk. You feel like Australia just need to go for it. They just.
Oh, is that a trip?
Oh,
nearly.
Be interested if they'll want to look at that.
Yeah.
Out on the full.
Australia, they haven't really been able to get any fluidity at all into this game. Like they've just.
Again, they've lacked that control, haven't they? And
yeah,
I don't know. They've lacked someone who can control the tempo. Lolaseo is on for O'Connor. It's just a massive shame they couldn't get Quade Cooper. Massive shame.
Yeah.
You know, you feel he'd have given you that bit more control.
Yeah, but it's just again, but discipline's been a problem as well. They just, you know,
again, just the ability to, string some phases together. They've hardly done any of that all game.
Charlie Eels is on for Johnny Hill. Good take in the line out from Australia. Valentini carries hard. He's dropped it though. Went backwards, said the referee. Ball a little bit all over the place. Ikitau has it on the halfway line though. 6 minutes to go. Oh, it's gone. Oh, now they've dropped it forward. And another mistake from Australia.
Yeah.
Scrum to England.
That's what Dave Rennie will be most furious about. Just how many mistakes, how many silly penalties they're giving away.
Yeah, again, we're just struggling to get the phases going.
I think one of the co-commentators there just said they've been struggling to get the phases going, and that's exactly what it is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just discipline on and off the ball. Really, it's just been the big issue.
Yeah. Corny Laws is leaving the field.
Mm-hmm. And Sam Simmons comes on for 5 minutes.
No pressure.
Just a cameo. Yeah, let's see.
Yeah. So, scrum to England. First since March 2018 for him. Scrum for Australia, on the halfway line. McDermott will feed it. Scrum goes straight down.
Yeah.
And they'll have the reset.
You always try these guys are not being the referee. As soon as it goes down, there's no decision anyway. You've got back rowers shouting for their team. That was awesome. I don't quite know what they're shouting. What was awesome? Everyone just fell over. What's awesome about that?
Who does Australia play next week, actually?
Us.
Oh, okay.
So, be interesting.
Well, they've got a pretty good record against you, so...
Thanks for reminding me.
Apart from the last couple of times you played them, but...
Yeah, true. 4 minutes to go then. Scrum, Australia can ball in.
Let's start Curtly Beale at 10, because we know how much he... You know what happens when he's at 10 playing against Wales?
You also know that when he goes to kick the ball, he completely misses it and he goes forward. So 3.5 minutes to go, and we're pretty convinced now this game is wrapped up. What would be the takeaways for England? It's not been a pretty performance, but what have you been impressed with by England, would you say?
As I said earlier, I think the Smith-Farrell 10-12 has had its moments. I think Jamie George had a very good game. He went off with an injury. He had a very good first half. I think, just being clinical with the boot as well. I don't know. It's a hard one to gauge fully because there's been so many ill discipline from both sides. So, I mean, it was showing Alex Dombrek, who's just on the camera now. It's Freddie Stewart. Sorry, not Alex Dombrek. He's shown his abilities when he's been on the park. So, just more individual performances. I think as a unit, they still need to gel better. And in terms of discipline, they also need to improve and be more fluid with the ball in hand as well.
Yeah, and I think the Springboks will offer a much bigger test for them next week.
Yeah.
And they'll go there with confidence heading to England. For Australia, it's just been all over the place, hasn't it, really? And they face us next week, which will be an interesting test for them. They'll feel like they can get something out of that game. England coming forward here, though. Max Malins. England looking to finish with a flourish and a space out wide if they can get it there. Slade, maybe a little bit greedy, and it's ripped by Curtly Beale. And they spot the space.
Oh, again.
And knocked on by McDermott this time.
Go back for the original knock on, I think.
Yeah. And 2 minutes to go in this one.
Australia's main problem has been lack of discipline. I think they just are unable to get any real fluidity.
Yeah.
At all.
They just have not had they haven't had the ball, but when they have had it, they've just coughed it up. They made little mistakes, knock-ons, mistakes like that, and I don't know, a bit of a weird. You know, from where they were playing in the Rugby Championship, where they're throwing the ball about. I mean, they don't have Samu Karevi as well in the centre, who is a massive ball carrier and gets over the gain line, and obviously missing Quade Cooper. There just doesn't seem to be that balance, that cohesion.
Yeah, I mean, I take some positives from the scrum because that's been better this week, and the set pieces have been generally all right there. But aside from that, just lack of discipline, lack of fluidity, lack of And the thing is, I don't actually think it's all. I know we spoke about James O'Connor at 10. It's not entirely his fault because he's not really had a proper platform to play from, and if players are knocking it on left, right, and centre, you can't blame one player for that.
Australia looking to finish though on the flourish. 60 seconds or so to go, a little bit less than that. And they are trying to play here. Lovely step from
there we go.
Lovely step from him. Who's he got inside?
Sam Simmons there.
Sam Simmons is charging down the wing.
That's going to be a try.
Inside ball. And he's going to run in the replacement hooker. And England will finish with another try.
Jamie Blyer.
There we go. England get another try. And Australia maybe thought that they could get something extra, but 30 points to 15 now. An opportunity to make it 32 points to 15. Jamie Blaymire. 4 caps, 6 international tries. It's not a bad record for a hooker, is it?
Not at all. And Sam Simmons there showing what he can do.
Absolutely.
Great step, great run,
backing himself. Good awareness from him, good support.
What else has he got to do, Eddie, to start?
But he can, as long as he doesn't start against us next Six Nations, that's fine. You know, as long as he doesn't do that.
Save here, wouldn't you?
The chance Owen Farrell to have the 2 points.
No, baby, Marcus Smith. Owen Farrell's off.
Marcus Smith, yeah, of course.
That's another concern from England, though, because Owen Farrell didn't look good when he was going off.
No. Looked like an ankle injury, didn't it? Be concerned about that. So Marcus Smith with the final say of the game. It's been a tough autumn for Australia. And chance for Marcus Smith, the golden boy. So 2, which is just a great kick, and that is full time. England 32, Australia 15. That is the final score over this one. England have done it. Have beaten the Aussies at Twickenham. 32 points to 15. How would you sum up that game? Pretty scrappy, wasn't it?
Yeah, like not a fluid affair at all, as we said during the commentary. Ill discipline from both sides. But I think England did deserve it because they had more of the territory, they had more of the possession. When they had the ball, they actually had some fluidity at times, although there's still plenty they can work on. But yeah, I think Australia, apart from the set pieces and James O'Connor being accurate with the boot, I think they can be pretty disappointed.
Yeah, I agree. There's just no fluidity in the game. It's been a long day, so I'm going to leave it there. Just before we go, Kyle, thank you for jumping on, mate. It's always a pleasure to chat rugby with you. Don't forget then tomorrow, got this, Wales against Fiji live watch long. Coverage starts around 3, kick-off at 3:15. There is a link in the chat for that. So do click on that link, hit the reminder. I'm also just going to drop a link for Kyle's channel as well. So do go head over there, subscribe to his channel. There's a reaction to that Scotland game from earlier on.
I'm going to do a double reaction to the Ireland and this one. So
nice one. So that'll be on Kyle's channel in the next half an hour or so, I'd say. So do head over to Kyle's channel, subscribe to his channel as well, and go check that out. The link, once again, is in the chat. Thank you, folks, for watching. Thank you for sticking with me this afternoon. I'm shattered. I'm now going to go watch Wales hopefully beat Belarus at football. So there you go. See you tomorrow. Thanks.